People, BCHQ, discussion time, episode 36, Anouska Bartowski response. It's a non-battle rap related question, and it is: should hate groups be allowed to exist because freedom of speech is too important, or should there be more effort to exterminate groups like Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazis, the Westboro Baptist Church? Can they be exterminated? What would the world be like if these type of groups didn't exist? I think I used to be a fan of certain things like hate groups, and but that was kind of before I become more educated on life itself and the the, the bridge between positivity and negativity. We all know that there isn't enough positivity in this world, and that's why a lot of problems occur. That's why war occurs, and too many people are focused on negative things, and that's why a lot of people struggle through life. Currently, I'm financially I'm struggling, but in my mind, I feel rich because my attitude's changed. I've been making an effort. I've been making conscious efforts to be more positive, and I know that soon enough I will get a job, and soon enough I will be in a better position. It's just being patient, putting in the work to get where you want to get, and then everything will fall into place. So I do think freedom of speech is very important, because especially in the UK it seems like we don't ever have that right anymore. I know in America you guys have problems with it, especially with the gun culture. Thankfully over here we do have guns, but not to the extent that you lot do. So there's not as many issues around crimes and things like that involving guns, although it's probably happening more than it used to over here. But it's more knives over here, which isn't a good thing anyway. I think that you do need freedom of speech, because that's just a basic human right. But people in higher positions with more money will bully the poorer people into, or the lower class people into, their way of thinking. And it's up to us as the working class people to be strong enough to say no to that. Sometimes it's out of our hands on certain things because we don't have the finances or things like that, but a lot of it is just human rights. But sadly, there's a lot of brainwashed people in the world. I'm not trying to be negative, but it's just facts. And people are just set in their ways and don't want to change or look at the bigger picture a lot of the time. And that's what it's going to take we need like a revolution for a more peaceful world now, I believe, because we're so far into the depths of negativity and corruption and war, and it's going to take a collective effort in everywhere in the world for it to happen. But it's not going to happen because, as I said, people are very brainwashed and scared to get together, be positive and get together. That's another thing. Everyone's nowadays is very secluded, and everyone's in their little circles, and they won't branch out their circles and connect with people, and that's a shame, because you can't form relationships or build onto bigger things that you want to achieve that way, because everyone's too scared to come out of their bubble they're in. So unfortunately I think that hate groups will always be there. People can use it as a positive thing if the hate's aimed at them to drive them on, but at the same time others won't be strong enough to do that and use it that way, and that's where you get people committing suicide. You get all these online bullying things, people committing suicide online now, and people get a kick from this. Even when people have died, you just get horrible negative evil monsters that will be like, oh, I'm glad they're not here anymore, and I feel sorry for them people, because they're never going to have a life that they're going to be happy with, and that's why they push their negativity onto others, because they're not satisfied with the current situation they're in, or they're never even going to get to a positive stage in their life. They will go through life stuck at the same job, or not. Even if you work a job you don't like, you can still branch out and put your money that you earn from that job into other things and passions that you want to do. But a lot of people won't do that because they're either too scared, they don't have the bottle to do it, and they limit themselves. It's like they will set a ceiling to what they can achieve, and when you've got a mind and mentality like that, you're never going to be happy. You're never going to have the life that you want in your head, because you have a picture of what you want, but you're not willing to put the effort in, or train your mind to be about positivity and go for your goals. And so as far as hate, I think the hate groups will always be there in everything we do, just because that's the society we are in now, and people don't want to go out of that because they're not comfortable doing that, which is just, it speaks volumes on people's mentality and how strong they are as people. Freedom of speech, as I said, I think it needs to stay. It's vitally important to human rights. Should there be more effort to exterminate groups like Ku Klux Klan, neo-Nazis and Westboro Baptist Church? Can they be exterminated? I don't think they can, because I look at it as like with like ISIS, take for instance, and different military groups. You can take out what you think is like the headquarters, so to speak, but there's always going to be, it's like a tree, there's always going to be different roots that are branching out to certain other areas, and there's going to be small groups across the whole other side of the world that are linked to somewhere in Iraq, and they could be like, I don't know, in Asia somewhere, or in Wales or something like that. They're going to be spread out around the world. So I don't think it's ever going to get to the total extermination point, because they're all in small groups. As I said, it's the same thing as like people are in their bubbles and in their small circles, and it's the same with this. They follow a higher being, if you like, with ISIS and things like that, or what they perceive to be a higher being. So you can take out what you think is the majority, but there's going to be branches everywhere, branched out. So I don't think that it's ever going to stop. There will always be circles and little just areas across the whole world that are going to have these groups and mentalities, I'm afraid. What would the world be like if these types of groups didn't exist? Well, I think you know why. That's why you asked, and it would be a hell of a lot better than it is. Same with politicians. It's just so much negativity. People want to be popular with their peers and will only mix in certain groups if they got the same financial level and income. So the world would be so much better if there was so much more positivity and people coming together, networking, supporting each other, just like with YouTube. This is why I preach so much on my videos, we should be supporting each other. It's a community, but everyone's in competition with each other, and I don't think that's the right way, because even competition, you can get to the heights you want to get and be the number one, but at some point that's going to stop. So why can't we come together and create a bigger community and support each other, and then more people can be successful and more people can be happy? This is what I don't understand on YouTube as well, with the hate. Like, you're always going to get hate, but it's a community, for God's sake. There should be so much more support, there should be so much more community sense, but people judge on image for some reason, and if you don't speak in a certain slang, or if you don't act gangster, then certain people won't want you involved in battle rap things, and it goes from different genres as well. And it's a shame, because as I said, you can't grow as a community that way. So there's always going to be tension, and friction there, because people have got the wrong mentality. I hope this answers your question, alright? I know the UW card just happened. I can't remember what the official title of it was, but if any of you see any battles coming out for that and I miss it, can you just link me on YouTube or put them in the comments on here or something, because sometimes I don't actually see the battles for a while when they've been released. So if you see any battles from that card get released, please let me know. Appreciate it. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you soon.